What happens when a luxury car manufacturer teams up with a Chinese smartphone maker? Well, you get a phone that's both very sexy and awfully familiar. Hey guys, it's Chris Cullen for Android Authority, here with an unboxing and first impressions of the Porsche design Huawei Mate 9. The box the Porsche design Mate 9 comes in is pretty hefty, and you'll see why in just a moment. Lifting the lid reveals the beautiful Porsche design Mate 9 with its curved QHD display, alongside a certification card emphasizing Porsche's involvement in the design process. Porsche and Huawei have been working on this collaboration for 4 years, and Porsche's influence, at least in terms of making a high-priced object of desire, is clear, but it's all Huawei underneath. Presentation is important here because other than a smaller, higher resolution display, additional few gigs of RAM, relocated finger scanner and more built-in storage, looks are the only difference between the regular Mate 9 and the Porsche design version. Both run the exact same software and all other specs are identical. So let's just take this top layer out and see what else is in the box. Now, there's a lot going on here, all very nicely presented for the high-flying type this phone is arguably targeted at. There's some nice Porsche branded earbuds equipped with a traditional 3.5mm jack rather than a USB Type-C cable, and there's a little micro USB to USB-C adapter in case you want to keep using your existing USB cables. There's also a couple of power bricks here, both a European version and one for the UK. These are both the new supercharged power adapters capable of 3.5 to 5 volt, 5 amp charging that'll get you a fully charged 4000 mAh battery in just 90 minutes. There's also a USB cable with Type A on one end and Type C on the other, and there's that nifty leather case with a darkened transparent window. Open it up and you'll see it's very nicely put together, made of leather with a cutout on the back for the camera lens to peek out. It's got Porsche design stamped on the front below the window, and the Huawei branding gets relegated to the rear. As far as cases go, it's one you might actually want to use if you get around to buying this phone. Finally, there's a box containing manuals, a SIM eject tool, and your warranty card of course. Now, if you've already seen our Mate 9 hands-on and EMUI 5 article, you'll know exactly what to expect from the software on the Porsche design variant, so we won't cover that here. One of the most noticeable differences between the Porsche design and the regular Mate 9 is of course that curved display, but it's worth noting that the curve is much less pronounced than it is on the Galaxy S7 Edge. It's almost unnoticeable. On the regular Mate 9, it's a 5.9-inch Full HD screen, but the Porsche version drops the size to 5.5 inches, but ups the resolution to QHD. Interestingly enough, the EMUI software doesn't have any specific features directed at the Edge screen. Below the display is the new capacitive finger scanner and home button. It works just as quickly as all Huawei scanners, and the lack of a physical click is a welcome change from Samsung's physical button. Navigation buttons are tiny illuminated dots with recent apps on the right and back on the left, but you can change this in the settings or remove the capacitive keys altogether and handle navigation purely through the home button via gestures. Other superficial changes between the Porsche and regular Mate 9s are a redesigned bottom edge, with one following the familiar Mate pattern, while the Porsche assumes an iPhone 6 layout with a headphone jack on one side and speaker on the other. The sensor layout at the top of the screen is a little different too, and the earpiece is a little wider than on the normal Mate 9. There's also an IR blaster up top in case you were wondering. On the back, things are different again, with the fingerprint scanner replaced by a Porsche design logo and the dual LEDs and sensors sitting on top and below the camera array rather than on either side of it like on the Mate 9. At this point, it's hard to tell if these were conscious design choices or simply about making things different to the normal Mate 9. The Porsche design version does away with the plastic antenna caps found on the Mate 9 and has antenna bands running horizontally across the phone instead. Just like a real Porsche, you're going to find yourself cleaning this thing all the time because it collects finger smudges like a boss, and they're much harder to wipe away fully than on a glass-backed phone like the S7. The only other differences are that huge 256GB of internal storage, which negates the need for a micro SD card slot, and the addition of 6GB of RAM. There's no denying the Porsche design Mate 9 is desirable. It looks great, performs great, has the display we wish the regular Mate 9 had, and delivers all the same benefits you'd find on the normal Mate 9, like fast charging, onboard machine learning to keep your phone running faster for longer, dual Leica cameras with 2x lossless zoom, 65 scenarios of accidental touch rejection, and 50% smaller 4K video files. But did Huawei really need to partner with Porsche design to basically come up with a Galaxy S7 Edge? Somehow I don't think so. The other problem is that by setting out to make the Porsche design Mate 9 the absolute best of the best, it also has an astronomical price tag. At €1,395, it's double the price of the regular Mate 9 and will only appeal to a very limited group of people. But that's exactly the point. It wasn't made to be a mass consumer product, just as Porsche cars aren't. It's an object of desire, no doubt, but by scooping features like a QHD display and 6GB of RAM, it also sort of gimps the regular Mate 9 by comparison, making it less desirable in the process. The problem with that is that the Mate 9 is supposed to appeal to the masses. What are your thoughts on the Porsche design Mate 9? If you had the cash, would you spend it on this? Hit the comments and share your thoughts, hit that like button if you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel for more like this, and keep it locked to Android Authority because we are your source for all things Android.